Alright, this is my third video on this. And this has been probably the hardest videos I've ever had to make. So I had a dream a couple days ago. And in that dream it said it's time to forgive and move on. It's time to try to make things right. Which is hard to do with the stuff that happened. So Tina and Tasha. Again, I won't say their last names. They may or may not be the same as mine. But they know who I'm talking to. The day my dad died, that day, later that night, I pay for everybody's dinner. Everybody's. Even Aaron's. And I go back to the house to get a key to the van. And somehow that turned into you guys taking her side. You guys wouldn't take her side if you knew the story I know. If you knew how she really was towards your brother those last few weeks before he passed away, you wouldn't have took her side that night. But in my head that night, because I just lost my father, just lost him that morning. In my head, when you guys turned on those cameras and videoed me, the only thing in my mind was to flip out. Like, you guys don't understand what I watched that woman do to your brother for the last few weeks he was alive. And you took her side over mine. No questions asked. And it hurt me. But it got a little worse. A few days later, after that day, we had the funeral, like 2 days later, you give me this card saying sorry for what you did with $50 in it, I believe. And I took that as so disrespectful. So damn disrespectful. It was like a punch in the face. Like, straight up, like you punched me in the face. That's what it felt like. I gave you, Tina, and Terry my phone number that week. You both had it. Hell, you might still both have it. And here it is, 3.5 years later. Almost 3.5 years later. And not one single one of you, nobody in my dad's family, not one of you, have tried to call me, see how I'm doing, or nothing. And before you say, we tried to reach out to your brother, I'm not my brother. I'm me, and he's him. I don't disagree with what he did. That's his life, and that's how I chose too. After a year and a half of not hearing from you guys, I chose that I didn't want anything to do with you guys because you chose to not give a shit about what me and my brother did for all that time. I thought, of all people, you or Terry would call and at least check on me and my brother and see if we were okay. Just check on us. See if we were okay. Three and a half years later, still haven't heard a word. Haven't heard a word. And I've let the anger and the grief and all that shit just build up. Just build up. And I'm not going to do it anymore. So this is your opportunity to either keep pushing me away, and that's your choice, or you can get a hold of me and say something. Even if we argue, say something. I want to move on. I want my family in my life. You're the one that's got to choose. Because you haven't cared in 3.5 years. Nobody. In 3.5 fucking years. The ball's in your court. Do what you gotta do. Bye, guys.